and fragrant trees. And what sounds! Huge, thumping footsteps, loud cawings, branches being broken. What was happening? Then the little dinosaur looked up and gasped. For there, all around him, were other dinosaurs. Dozens and dozens of them, and all different. Some had big scales on their backs. Others had spikes on their tails. Some even flew through the air. Royal lizard, the little dinosaur thought anxiously. They all looked so huge, bigger than the whole of the McDermott's apartment. So fierce. But then he happened to look across a clearing in the jungly swamp, and he saw something that made all his fear go away. For there, smiling merrily at him, was another little dinosaur, just his size. She was absolutely lovely. Her skin was bronzed green, like a tree tinged with sunset. But it was her eyes that the little dinosaur most noticed. They were a deep, rich gold, and they flashed with such devilish mischief that he felt like laughing out loud. Eagerly, the little dinosaur started to move toward her. But then, to his great disappointment, the melting, whirring, dizzying, stretching feeling came over him again. And in just a moment, he was back in the McDermott's apartment, back in Robbie's Christmas stocking. "Please, let me go back," he begged the big man. "That other place is where I belong, not here." The big man only smiled at him. "I'm sorry, little one," he said softly. "You have things to do here." The next morning was Christmas morning. When the sun rose, a small boy with curly blonde hair and glasses came running into the room. When he saw his stocking, he grabbed it down eagerly and peered into it. Then, with a gasp of delight, he pulled out the little dinosaur. "Mama, Mama, look what Santa Claus brought me." Santa Claus. The little dinosaur smiled to himself. He had just learned who the big man had been. It's a dinosaur. He's an Apatosaurus, so I'm going to name him Pato. The little dinosaur smiled again. He'd just learned who he was. From the first instant, Robbie fell in love with his new toy. "I'm going to hug him forever," he told his mother happily. Alas, this didn't exactly come as good news to Pato, since Robbie had a habit of holding him so tightly around the stomach that Pato could feel his side seams meet. That morning, after the rest of the Christmas presents had been opened, Robbie showed Pato all over the apartment. And in the afternoon, he showed Pato all around the building. He took Pato upstairs and showed him where the Schumachers lived, and the Fazios, and Mrs. Lee, and Miss Stone. He took him downstairs and showed him where the Mackenzies lived, and the O'Malleys, and the Slades, and the Rosens. Then he took him back to his own floor and showed him where the Sanchezes lived, and the Hansons, and Mr. Vine. And then finally, he took Pato outside and introduced him to the street and the neighborhood. Pato didn't think much of the apartment, the building, the street, or the neighborhood. It looked so gloomy and dark to him, and the people all looked so sad. The ones they passed in the building had anxious frowns on their faces, and ones on the street were walking so fast and so stiffly. Pato sighed how he missed his jungly swamp, and how he missed the beautiful little dinosaur with the mischievous golden eyes. But there was nothing he could do about it, and so he stayed unhappily in Robbie's